and welcome to River Point. I have some announcements to share with you guys. Just a reminder, we are postponing River Point presenting Jesus' birth around the square until later in the new year. And also today we start our Advent candle lighting, and the candle we light today is for hope. And we can have hope that God is going to fulfill His promises. I think that's all the announcements that I have. Here's Jensen with some music.
Every time I try to make it on my own, every time I tried to stand, it started to fall. And all these lonely roads that I have traveled home, there was Jesus. When the life I built came crashing to the ground, when the friends I had were nowhere to be found, I couldn't see anything that I could see it now. There was Jesus. There was Jesus. In the waiting, in the searching, in the healing, in the hurting, like a blessed buried in the broken pieces. Every minute, every moment, where I've been and where I'm going, even when I didn't know it or couldn't see it, there was Jesus. Well, this man who needs amazing kind of grace, with forgiveness at a price I couldn't pay. I ain't perfect, but I thank God every day. There was Jesus. There was Jesus. In the waiting, in the searching, in the healing, in the hurting, like a blessed buried in the broken pieces. Every minute, every moment, where I've been and where I'm going, even when I didn't know it, couldn't see it, there was Jesus on the mountain, in the valley, there was Jesus. In the shadows of the alleys, there was Jesus. In the fire, in the blood, there was Jesus. Always is and always was. No, you never walk away. You're always there. In the waiting, in the searching, in the healing, in the hurting, like a blessed buried in the broken pieces. Every minute, every moment, where I've been and where I'm going, even when I didn't know it, couldn't see it, there was Jesus. There was Jesus. There was Jesus.
Happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. Hope you've had a good Thanksgiving day and continuing to have a great Thanksgiving weekend. Today we're going to be in Psalm 131 if you want to go ahead and grab your Bibles. Today's teaching is all about being thankful and grateful. And I know 2020's been a tough year, and it's been tough sometimes maybe to be grateful and to be thankful for all that we have. And so today I hope to remedy that with this Psalm 131. And what you need to know about this psalm, it is a song of ascent, and it's actually one of about 15 psalms or songs that the pilgrims would sing as they would make their way up the mountain into Jerusalem together corporately for worship and festivities and things of that nature. And these psalms or songs, ideally what they were meant to do was that they would prepare the hearts of these people so that when they arrived, they would be full of gratitude and thanksgiving and would be more apt and readily available to truly worship and celebrate who God is and all that God has done and is doing and will continue to do in their lives. And so my hope and prayer today is, as we look at this psalm, this song, that it might prick our hearts and prepare us for worship. Psalm 131. Let me go ahead and read it. O Lord, my heart is not proud, nor my eyes haughty, nor do I involve myself in great matters or in things too difficult for me. Surely I have composed and quieted my soul like a weaned child rests against its mother. My soul is like a weaned child within me. O Israel, hope in the Lord from this time forth and forever. And this is a song of David. And I guess to put it simply, 3 verses, and what we see is 3 qualities that lend themselves to a heart that is full of gratitude and thanksgiving. And so if you don't have these qualities, you might need to do a little work on your heart and your attitude to get you to a better place, and hopefully to a place of thanksgiving and gratitude. Here's the first one, okay? The first quality is be humble. Now notice what David says. Let's go back to our passage. Psalm 131, verse 1. Here's what David says. O Lord, my heart is not proud, nor my eyes haughty. And so the word proud in Hebrew is high. And this word high is most often used to describe God. High and lifted up. God high and mighty. And so essentially what David is saying here, God, I'm not you. I'm not high. I'm not equivalent to you. And so David is reminding himself that he is not God, and that he is not high nor proud. He goes on to say, verse 1, nor are my eyes haughty. In other words, what David is saying is, when I look at people and I look at situations and individuals around me, I don't look down on them. I don't think of myself as better than they are. And so David says, my eyes are not haughty. He goes on to say, nor do I involve myself in great matters or in things too difficult for me. David is reminding himself here, I don't know it all. And so do you see what David is saying here as he's singing this song of ascent, and the pilgrims are all singing as they're making their way up to Jerusalem and in preparation for a time of worship and celebration and all the festivities, is they're preparing their heart so that when they get there, they're going to have all that taken care of and will be able to adequately and rightly and truly worship and celebrate God. And so they're reminding themselves, Lord, I'm not you, and I don't look down on people. I don't think of myself as more highly than I ought, and I don't know it all. And so David is putting himself, reminding himself, and positioning himself rightly to enter into a great time of celebration. And this lends itself to creating a heart of gratitude and thanksgiving. Second quality is, David says, be mature. Okay, let's move to verse 2. Surely I have composed and quieted my soul. David said, I did that. I have composed and quieted my soul. In other words, I've dialed it in. I've reeled it in. I'm not, upset. I'm not beside myself. And how did he do that? Well, he likens it to, verse 2, a weaned child rests against his mother. My soul is like a weaned child within me. You kind of have to imagine this. You got a weaned child that is laying on the breasts of his or her mother. And he's at peace, or she's at peace, at rest. This child is completely content, at rest, laying on his mother's breast. No longer longing for the milk, the nourishment that the mother once supplied. In other words, the child is weaned. Now, during the weaning process, it was a little difficult, right? The child, during the process of being weaned, I'm sure, cried and whined and belly ached and moaned, thinking that they could not live without their mother's milk. And it was hard. It was a hard task for the mom to do that. But certainly necessary. And so when you think about that, what David is saying here is that God has weaned me from a lot of things throughout my life that I thought I couldn't live without. It was hard. It was difficult. I cried and whined and belly ached because of it. But in the end, I now am at peace and my soul is quiet because I know now that I can live without those things that I thought or once thought that I couldn't live without. And so you'll have to decipher what those things may be in your life that you think you can't live without. And all the while, God is trying to wean you and mature you and grow you up. It's a difficult process. And yes, it's hard. And none of us really like it, but certainly necessary. And so David says, not only be humble, verse 1, but secondly, be mature. A mature believer has a heart full of gratitude and thanksgiving, irregardless of the circumstances that may be around them. Here's the last one. From verse 3, David says, be hopeful. Be hopeful. Notice what he says. O Israel, hope in the Lord from this time forth and forever. And I'm sure for the pilgrims, for these believers, everything wasn't right in their world. They didn't always have it together. I'm sure the circumstances in their lives weren't always the greatest. Nonetheless, David says, hope in the Lord from this time forth and forever. In other words, wait on the Lord. Put your hope and trust in Him. And this isn't just a present hope, but it's a future hope as well, to where we wait and hope expectantly. And if we'll do that, then that will foster a heart of gratitude and thanksgiving. And so David says in this psalm, this song, be humble, be mature, and be hopeful. And if you'll do that, if you'll work on that, then that will create a heart of thanksgiving and gratitude, which would be wonderful taking into this holiday season. Love you guys. Have a great day.